Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to this video. Today's video is going to be focused on Agentic AI. Now, the emergence of Agentic AI coding tools marks a significant inflection point for quantitative research. Unlike earlier chatbot style assistants, these new tools can autonomously browse the web, download data, manipulate files, and execute complex analytical workflows on a user's computer. For researchers, analysts, and knowledge workers, this development raises fundamental questions about productivity, quality, and the evolving nature of valuable skills. With this background, let's start with the shift from chatbots to agents. The key distinction between earlier large language models and the current generation of agentic tool lies in the capacity for action. Traditional LLMs could generate text, explain concepts, and write code snippets. Agentic AI tools take this further by executing tasks directly, downloading datasets from governmental statistical agencies, cleaning and restructuring the data, running analysis, and generating outputs. Tasks that previously required hours of manual work can now be completed in minutes. This capability has particular implications for social scientists and analysts who regularly work with public data. The ability to automate the entire pipeline from data acquisition to preliminary analysis represents a meaningful productivity gain for certain types of quantitative research. Now, this brings us to the productivity paradox. Now, economic theory suggests that when the cost of activity decreases, people do more out of it. The principle applies to the AI-assisted research also, but with a complication. Increased volume does not automatically translate to increased value. The early evidence is suggesting that the researchers using LLM tools produce more papers, but a meaningful portion of the additional output is of lower quality than their pre-AI work. This pattern mirrors what occurred in job applications also, where the AI-enabled mass applications have flooded hiring pipelines without improving outcomes for the candidates. If the agentic AI primarily enables the pursuit of second-tier research ideas that would not have been worth the effort under previous constraints, the net contribution to scientific knowledge could be marginal or even negative. And this brings us to the bottleneck question. A crucial consideration is whether the data analysis has historically been primary constraint on the high-quality research. If data gathering, cleaning, and analysis were significant bottlenecks, then automating these processes should accelerate the pace of meaningful discoveries. However, if these technical tasks were never the limiting factor and the real constraints lie elsewhere, then even the dramatic efficiency improvements may have limited impact on research quality or breakthrough frequency. And this question has implications for the labor market. If the scarce resource in research was always the judgment and creativity rather than technical execution, then roles focused primarily on routine coding and data manipulation may face significant displacement, while those involving problem identification and research design may remain in demand. From the bottleneck to the revaluation in skills, the rapid improvement of AI coding capabilities is prompting a reassessment of what constitutes valuable expertise. Technical skills that were previously considered specialized are being reframed as routine components of the job that can be delegated to AI. The emerging consensus suggests that the differentiating factor for the analysts and the researchers will increasingly be the quality of their questions and their judgment about what matters, and sometimes this is described as intellectual taste. This shift creates both opportunities as well as challenges. Professionals who possess strong conceptual foundations but limited coding ability may find new avenues for quantitative work. And at the same time, those whose competitive advantage rested primarily on the technical execution may face increased competition from individuals who previously lacked the skills to implement their ideas. And from here, let's move on to the verification challenge. A practical challenge that remains unresolved is how to verify AI-generated analytical outputs efficiently. If checking the accuracy of the automated work requires the same effort as performing the work manually, the time savings disappear. And this verification problem is particularly acute for the professionals who lack deep technical expertise, as they may not have the background necessary to identify subtle errors in data processing or the analysis. The development of reliable verification methods and best practices will likely be an important area of focus as these tools see broader adoption. So, what are the implications for the knowledge workers out here? For professionals in research, analysis, and adjacent fields, several considerations are emerging. First, the capabilities of the AI tools are evolving rapidly, making it worthwhile to periodically reassess what is possible. Second, while efficiency gains are real, they do not automatically translate to value creation. The quality of the input, specifically the questions being asked and the judgment applied to output, likely matters more than ever. Thirdly, the replication crisis. Now, this crisis has affected multiple research fields that could potentially benefit from the tools as the ability to rapidly reproduce and verify published work becomes more accessible. Whether this potential is realized will depend on how the research community adapts its incentives as well as its practices. In wrap up, we can say that the agentic AI represents a genuine shift in capabilities available to the knowledge workers. The technology is already capable of performing tasks that were technically demanding and time consuming just a few months ago. However, the ultimate impact on research quality, labor markets, and the production of knowledge will depend on how these tools are deployed, what activities they enable, and whether the time that they save is redirected towards high value work. The professionals best positioned to benefit are likely those who view these tools as amplifiers of their judgment and creativity rather than substitutes for it. In an environment wherein the technical execution is increasingly commoditized, the premium on asking the right questions and knowing what matters may only grow. This is what we wanted to share with you in this brief video update. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Do stay tuned in for our next one.